Hey, what's happening, everybody? DJ Ron, the classic DJ from the Bay, coming at you with a whole new experience. DJ Ron's reaction analysis. Have you been waiting for new music but not knowing exactly what you was waiting for? Well, every week I plan to give you 5 to 10 songs that just dropped, and you can take a chance to take a listen to it, react with me. You know what I mean? We're looking for new classic joints. You understand what I'm saying? Plus, we're just looking to see what's hot and what's not. All right. So, look, I invite you to take this journey with me. The goal is to get it out every Wednesday, 12 o'clock West Coast time. See you there. Check and look at it. Reaction analysis. Take care. As always, God bless.
I represent the Yay area.
They say we was ahead of our time. Quiet as it's kept, they say the streets wasn't wrecked yet. But now did we fret? Nope. That just made us come much, much doper. That's right. The distributors dissed us. They say the vulgar language was way too vicious. Man, they was way out of line for that. They took in all these rappers that was hella whack. Now folks, would you pop to this? Pertaining to the click having the gift to spit. You got to be original, man, with heck of gang. You can't be lame. What is a rap without the slang? With your look, with your vision. Take the tape into the room and then listen. While your palms get to sweating with tension. Yeah, check this part out though. Look here, yeah.
Represent the Yay area.
What we gonna do right here is go back. Way back. Back into time.
Today, I'm going to change gears a little bit, get into a new song. It's by a young lady, I believe out of Mississippi. I'm not 100% sure. But we're going to just check it out, though. It's just something that I heard just scrolling through Facebook. I believe it was on a reel or whatnot. Kind of snippet of her flow, and then went to check out the song itself. And, I mean, the young lady is fire. She is definitely saying some things. You know what I mean? So now, I don't know if she has an official video, but what I saw is the full freestyle. I believe she's at a radio station and whatnot, so you'll check it out with me. We'll take a look at it. Here's this young lady. She calls herself B for Better. You get what I'm saying? B for Better. You know what I mean? And I must forewarn you that it is going to be some explicit lyrics. I have to call her back in a moment. Doing a video. We got a video going. It's for improved, huh? You know what I mean? But the thing about it is that she is definitely from Mississippi, female rapper, B for Better. She drops her freestyle, and this is on Famous Animal TV. So forewarning you, it is some explicit lyrics on here, but take a listen to the message that's being portrayed. You know what I mean? She get real deep, y'all. Real deep. Here we go.
B for Better.
B for Better.
Queen of the city. Hey.
Turn that shit up, man.
Hey, what's the motherfucking point, man? Hey, hold up. I might just flash out on my pappy for that whole shit that he did. How you fucking on my mama, but couldn't take care of your kids? What's the point of calling you daddy when you never was a father? And what's the point of reaching out when a nigga ain't ever even bothered? So what's the point of me talking? I picked the same kind of BD. What's the point of him being 32, fucking me at 17?
You weren't ready for that, was you? She's saying something. Basically, her daddy wasn't there for her. Just, you know, got with her mama, made her, wasn't there. You know what I mean? And I love the accountability, right? She's basically pointing out that, hey, man, I did the same thing. You know what I mean? And my baby dad is 32 and I was 17. Oh, but it gets a little bit deeper. In case you didn't catch it, I had to throw it back to you again.
So what's the point of being sad? They just gon' label you as fast. Cause you know dope boys not pedophiles long as they get in the bag.
Shout out to R. Kelly. If that wasn't a bar, then I don't know what it is. It's the truth. This girl said, dope boys ain't pedophiles as long as they get in the bag. It's not. Let's go back. Let's go back.
What's the point of him being 32, fucking me at 17? So what's the point of being sad? They just gon' label you as fast. Cause you know dope boys not pedophiles long as they get in the bag.
Enough said.
What's the point of being mad? You better off not giving a fuck. They be screaming they hate we did it, but still love they uncles. What's the point of keeping secret? If he a threat to all the nieces, and why y'all hurting all the angels so you can protect all the demons?
This girl's spazzing. And the thing about it, she said, what's the point of being mad? What's the point of giving her, you know what she said? The sad part about it, that's how a lot of young people feel. You know what I mean? If y'all ain't tripping off of it, why should we be tripping off of it? You know what I'm saying? Y'all letting them get away with it, why shouldn't we try it?
What's the point of even lying? You get caught up every time. What's the point of your relationship if y'all ass ain't even trying? How we glorifying murder, then we be shocked when niggas die. Like, what's the point? Are we down with catching bodies or we not?
One more time.
What's the point of your relationship if y'all ass ain't even trying? How we glorifying murder, then we be shocked when niggas die. Like,
how? Why? I never understood that. And let's keep it a band. Let's keep it 1,000. How many times have you seen mamas going to bat for their sons and even some daughters nowadays, which is bad? You know what I'm saying? That's why I gravitated to this video, because you got, you know, your female rappers. I ain't gonna start naming no names, but y'all know who they are, who glorify getting down, being a ride or die, and actually being harder than the dudes. So now y'all gonna go down the same path, the gangster path that the brothers and did that's got us in the mess in the first place. So as if the brothers ain't done enough wickedness, we got a whole bunch of females that's promoting the same thing amongst that gender. You get what I'm saying? How are you gonna be upset when the same mamas my age was glorifying Nino Brown? Ooh, that Nino is a cold one, you know what I'm saying, this and that. And then they sons go out and do the same thing because that's what they see you glorify. They gonna go out and do the same thing because they think that's what they supposed to be doing. That's how they gonna get some praise. You know what I'm saying? But then on the flip side, you crying, talking about my baby ain't never hurt nobody. You know he shot 6, 7 people, killed a couple of them, got some M's under his belt. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about MK, and I'm not talking about millions neither. You know what I'm saying? What's the point? This girl is spitting, y'all. She cooking for real, for real.
what's the point? Are we down with catching bodies or we not? Like, what's the point of getting it right when that shit still gonna go left? What's the point of having fam if you can't ask them for help? What's the point of joining the game if you still feel by yourself? What's going on in the hood? These niggas done started doing meth.
And I've been saying this for a long time. If I would have painted a picture of the culture, say about 30 years ago, 20 years ago, let's just say 20 years ago, I would have painted a picture of a line of brothers, because it was just the men for the most part at the time, all in line, right? Imagine that, all in line, but all of a sudden the line forks. Some of them going to the pen, the other ones is going to the cemetery. And you know the cold part about it? They enemies on the street with one another, but once they get to the pen or the cemetery, they're in the same clique. They all together. What's the point?
Point, nigga. You used to be a ball, now you a junkie, nigga. You used to ball a jump shot, didn't make no points, nigga.
Man, 50 said it back in the day. Back in the high school, you was the man. What happened to you?
What's the point of getting it right when that shit still gonna go left? What's the point of having fam if you can't ask them for help? What's the point of joining the game?
I went too far back, but I'm glad I did. One more time.
Like, what's the point? Are we down with catching bodies or we not? Like, what's the point of getting it right when that shit still gonna go left? What's the point of having fam if you can't ask them for help? What's the point of joining the game if you still feel by yourself? What's going on in the hood? These niggas done started doing meth.
She said a whole lot in a little bit of time. First of all, what's the point of having family if you can't ask them for help? But then on the flip side, they join a gang and then they be by themselves. So the family ain't giving them help. They reaching out for something, for somebody. They join a gang, and then once they get caught up, they by themselves. You get what I'm saying? Or, and I don't know if it's worse, it could be worse, they do things for the gang. They go out, they shoot, they do this, they do that. You know what I mean? They live that life or whatnot. Found out it ain't all as cracked up to be, because trust and believe, I was a part of it. And I'm thankful I got some leadership qualities. I can think for myself. I didn't nobody else tell me what to do or how to go about doing it. And you figure out that, you know what, everything ain't what it looked like. You know what I mean? It's all a facade. It's all a screenplay, if you will. You know what I mean? That's why we said it was a movie. You know what I'm saying? The 90s was a movie. It was lit though, but it was a movie. However, only God knows how the screen's going, how the picture's going to carry out. You know what I mean? One of the best rap lyrics I heard. Check out the one I did called "Funky But It's Fair." One of the best things he said. Even if you're not cast in a play, you might just catch a stray for being in the way. You see what I'm saying? So the flip side of that, what if the shooter shooting at his op, shooting at the enemy, but then shoot an innocent bystander? You know what I mean? And then they resort to smoking more weed, which leads to the use of harder drugs, because weed only gonna do so much. Then it leads to harder drugs, what's called a gateway drug. So when you get into that, you get to the point of even doing meth, and it's just like, what's the point? Like, for real, what's the point? A coping mechanism. You know what I mean? And not only that, it gets worse than that. You know what I mean? I got a homeboy now that I haven't heard from in a minute that went from weed to powder, cocaine, to heroin. And he a year older than me. Heroin, we just seen what that does to everybody else. And now I'm fentanyl. You get what I'm saying? Because he said that's better than heroin. And we already know what heroin do. We see what fentanyl is doing. It's killing people. You could actually touch it and die. What's the point? Let's go back to the young lady though, because the young lady, she's really saying something. We need to get more to get back to the messages and songs that's giving positive vibes and making people think before they do stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got a surprise for you after this song, but let's get back to her.
Point, nigga. You used to be a ball, now you a junkie, nigga. You used to ball but jump shot, didn't make no points, nigga. So what was the point, nigga? Nigga, what's the point? At the point of no return, I need a mind to my lunch. What's the point of selling dope if you ain't gon' save the money? What's the point of having a baby to keep a nigga? You a dummy. What's the point of even asking? No.
Okay, so that's for the ladies. The keeper brother baby. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know, now you know. A lot of ladies, they, you know what I mean, this is for the young brothers. They will have your baby in order to keep you, you know what I'm saying? But what's the consequences of staying? You know what I mean? If she ain't giving you no peace or whatnot, and she just want to just nag, you know, baby drama and all that kind of stuff, baby mama drama, yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? She want to keep you because you can't keep yourself, but then still you got to resort to being treated worse than your mama did you when you was a little baby. It's a cycle that needs to be broken, you know what I mean? That's why you're supposed to take your time, get with the right one, you know what I'm saying, and turn that into something. I give applause to the young brothers who go to high school, graduate, go to college, turn yourself into something, build a nest egg of some sort, court, you know what I mean? Find the right woman, you know what I mean? And get with her, get married to her, then have some kids. Like, that's the ideal way. That's God's way it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? But, you know, unfortunately, most of us fall by the wayside. You know, we deal with those consequences. You know what I mean? No regrets as far as mine go, but I didn't been what I talked about. You know what I mean? I didn't deal with baby mama drama and everything else. I thank God that we're best friends now. You know what I mean? But I've been there and I've done that. You know what I mean? I wish I could say that for both my kids' moms, but, you know, it is what it is. Such is life. You know what I mean? But we live and we learn. And I'm sure she has some regrets too. But what's the point?
If you ain't gon' save the money, what's the point of having a baby to keep a nigga? You a dummy. What's the point of even asking? No, you can't get nothing from me. What's the point of baby wipes in case a bum try to touch me?
What's the point of baby wipes in case a bum try to touch me? That's self-explanatory. If not, what she's saying is she keep baby wipes with her so in case a bum try to touch her. You know what I mean? It's a flex. It's a floss. You know what I'm saying? She feeling herself a little bit. But at the same time, people literally do that. Keep baby wipes in the car just in case.
Hey, I'm going back in. What's the point of tomorrow when I'm right here today? And what's the point of me having if I can't have it my way?
A little sense of entitlement? Who knows? But what she's saying, and what's the point of getting rich if you can't have it your way? You know what I'm saying? Hopefully with some morale though, you know what I mean, and doing it the right way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go back a little bit in case I missed something, but I think it's pretty much clear.
I'm going back in. What's the point of tomorrow when I'm right here today? And what's the point of me having if I can't have it my way? Say what?
That's what it was. So the thing about that is some people, they don't see tomorrow. You know what I mean? That's why they living for the day. You know what I mean? And letting you know that there is definitely a tomorrow, something to look forward to.
What's the point of letting them hate? Cause they gon' do it anyway. So what's the point of all these questions sound like you investigate. I got some heavy on my neck, but today a light day. I'm eating up in this bitch, I might just be a microwave. I just beat up another bitch, I'm starting to feel like Johnny Cage. What's the point of hearing my phone if you ain't gonna get an answer? What's the point of playing real when we all know you an answer? What's the point of having a pastor if he lying more than us? And what's the point of enemies when it's your friends you can't trust?
I always get upset. Well, not upset. It don't bother me no more, but it's a shame though when people feel that way about the pastor of their church. You know what I mean? If that's how they feel. You know what I mean? There's a lot of great pastors out there, and it's just like police officers, right? There's a lot of good police officers out there. It's unfortunate the few bad make it hard for the many good. You know what I'm saying? And that's very unfortunate. But one thing I can say about the community, about the church communities, particularly the black spiritual community, we may be hurting for a lot of things, but good preaching ain't one of them. You know what I mean? It's up to you. If you find you a good one and you want to decide to listen and get in line with what God's saying and you praying about it, and then God is saying it through that pastor, it's up to you to receive it and follow. You know what I mean? If not, get another pastor, go to another church. That's all I can say.
Answer. What's the point of playing real when we all know you an answer? And what's the point of having a pastor if he lying more than us? And what's the point of enemies when it's your friends you can't trust? What's the point, bitch? Stop blaming everybody for your dumb shit. Take some accountability for all your nonsense. But that's just the point, shit. Bitches don't make no sense. Bitches ain't get no dollars. Bitches ain't get no sense. What's the point, bitch? Tell me what's the point? Ay. Be for better, queen of the field, ayy, y'all.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't hear that last little part. She was spazzed out on that beat though.
Bitch, tell me what's the point, ayy. Be for better.
Let's go back a little bit more.
Stop blaming everybody for your dumb shit. Take some accountability for all your nonsense. But that's just the point, shit. Bitches don't make no sense. Bitches ain't get no dollars. Bitches ain't get no sense. What's the point, bitch? Tell me what's the point, ayy. Be for better, queen of the field, ayy, y'all.
We need more rappers like her.
What's the
male or female?
What's the point, bitch? Yeah.
She spazzed out. Definitely said something. Again, her name is B for Better, out of Mississippi. Man, and she spazzed out. So look, I said it was a surprise for you. Shout out to those that made it this far. Let's get into the old school. You know what I mean? We need more rappers like this right here.
The messenger group.
We miss these people.
Here's denied. The movement Blackwash. And when we're not outraged about the oppression upon the black existence, we step to you in blackness.
Before I get started with that, let me see if there's a lyric video. Let me see if there's a lyric video. If not, we'll go to the original. But is there a lyric video? If not, I'm going to rock with that one. Is this right here?
Exist in a state of vainglorious as we are protected by the...
If you want to watch the original version, the video is cool. It's called X-Clan. The group is called X-Clan. The song is called Heed the Words of the Brother. Hopefully these lyrics is right. If not, we're going to make it tight.
The black and the green. Heed the words.
I just so happen to have red, black, and green today. What can I say?
Let us the words, word to phrase, to paragraph. Heed math as J begins class.
Okay. No lyrics on it. He started with the lyrics, but that's not it. That's not it. All right, we'll rock with this.
Now brought to the rhyme face from the scroll straight to the verse.
Rhymes are past, and the science of past is not brought to the verb stick. Let me rewind that back. Let me rewind that back. It's been a minute since I listened.
Let us the words, word to phrase, to paragraph. Heed math as J begins class. Science of past is now brought to the rhyme face from the scroll straight to the verse.
So he's speaking a little bit of code, but he's saying the science of past is not brought to the rhyme fix from the scroll straight to the verb stick. So his scroll is what he's writing down, what he wrote the rap down on. The verb stick is a microphone.
Gods from gods to man, many kings, many leaders, a fist from my hand. They call me militant. Now what does this mean?
He put the question mark over and he said, "What does this mean?" But what he said is, "Others diss me. Others diss me. They call me militant. Now others diss me."
Carry a gun, salute the RC. With the cause I never pause, and simply as a brother. Raise the hand. They call me militant. Now what does this mean? Do I carry a gun, salute the RC?
I was wrong. I read that in the lyrics a long time ago, and it seemed to make sense, but now it makes more sense. Now that I'm older, a whole lot more sense. What they call me militant now, what does this mean? Do I carry a gun to let the army see? But for the cause, I never pause, because it's the brother.
I never pause, it's simply the brother. Raise the flag, wave the colors. Red, black, green with the keys, the difference. Words make a way in the world in an instant. Living to die and I die to live again. 360 degrees. Comprehend, a man getting stronger till he's man no longer. Unearthly state makes the time seem shorter. Forever radiant awareness, born forth for one. Open eye, strong sun. Practicing priests, standing by what I teach. So you all stand starving as I start to release.
Words of the bell. I just let it go because this is the second verse where you really go deep.
Blackness brought from the Genesis will exist till Armageddon is a
Great blackness brought from the Genesis since the very beginning, and it exists until Armageddon is a witness, which Armageddon is a sign of the end.
The originals built the earth. Why must there be aggression to learn a basic lesson?
Hopefully you'll see why I followed what's the point up with this right here. The originals built the earth. Why must there be aggression to learn a basic lesson? The originals is a black man. The first person here was black in Africa. You know what I mean? Read the Bible. It all says that. Even in the book, starting in the book of Genesis. The originals built the earth. So why must there be aggression to learn a basic lesson?
Quite majestic, stir with the reality. A juggernaut when you tamper with mentality.
So when he says quite majestic, you know, it was kings and queens or whatnot. You know what I mean? Back then, it was quite majestic, stirring with reality.
However, crown, extension and dimension of a brain cell, bringing hell to the sellout.
I wear that same crown. It's an extension in the dimension of my brain cells. In other words, I come from royalty, so it's in me. You know what I mean? It's in my DNA. You know what I'm saying? So the crown that he wears, what he's talking about, is an extension of that. You get what I'm saying? It's showing that that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And he's bringing hell to the sellouts. In other words, the people, because we had just started having NWA and other gangster rappers and everything, and he's called them sellouts because he like keep it pro-black. You know what I mean? We supposed to be uplifting one another and everything else.
Forever tangled, web we weave, always trying to obtain, no attempt to achieve.
And because of that, it's an ever-tangled web that we weave, always trying to obtain instead of achieving. So he's talking about the dope dealers and everybody else. Anybody that's doing something illegal to try to get some money and some status or whatnot, you're trying to obtain without the attempt to achieve. In other words, work hard for it, do something positive to get there.
Descendants of kings and queens act like justice.
So now the descendants of the same kings and queens he was just talking about, majestic, starting with the reality, ever since the Genesis and everything, the descendants of those are now acting like jesters. What is a jester? I know what it means, but I'm gonna give you the Google term for a jester. What is a jester? A jester is an entertainer who mocks and jokes with people, often improvising on the spot. They are known for their wit, their pranks, and their jokes. The term jester was first recorded back in 1325 75, comes from Middle English word gesture or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So what is the meaning of it? A person who is given to witticism, jokes, and pranks. A professional fool or a clown. So that's basically what he's saying. The sellout rappers are jesters. You know what I mean? And you think about it. What kind of message are they sending? What kind of culture were they building back then with the music that was out, and even out today? You know what I mean? I'm not gonna name the names again, but you know the trap rappers, the drill rappers, and everything else. Gestures.
No attempt to achieve. Descendants of kings and queens act like justice. Never potential, quarter of the measure. Jealousy of what are we becomes tendency for their thievery.
The flash lifestyle that breeds jealousy. And it becomes the reason for them wanting to become thieves or whatnot. The jealousy of what are we becomes tendency for their thievery. You know what I mean? It was message in lyrics back in the days. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like this beat for better, because she got a message in her lyrics now. I know there's some stuff now. If you have something that you want me to review or whatnot, perhaps something I've never heard before, please send it to me, because I don't have time to go through all of the trash that we got nowadays. You know what I'm saying? But this is definitely a gem. And it was back then, and it is still to this day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go back to a little bit descendants of kings and queens.
A juggernaut when you tamper with mentality. However, crown, extension and dimension of a brain cell, bringing hell to the
sellouts. The ever tangled web we weave, always trying to obtain, no attempt to achieve.
Descendants of kings and queens act like justice. Never potential, quarter of the measure. Jealousy.
It's descendants of kings and queens act like jesters. Never potential. Caught up in a measure of jealousy of what are we. In other words, trying to keep up with the Kardashians. You know what I mean? And it becomes tendency for their thievery. In other words, because they can't get it by attaining, they'll go steal for it or whatever. They'll kill for it. You know what I mean?
What are we? Becomes tendency for their thievery.
All right, cool.
But no need to pull a tool, 'cause that's a fool.
But no need to pull a fool, though. There's no need for all of that, because that's a fool.
I get my words like that in my school to produce the words that they think about. It's another way of checking out these sissies who may try to extend my principality.
So what he's saying, I give my words by standing or by stool. So whether I'm sitting down teaching or whether I'm standing up on the microphone, either or. You know what I mean? And they're gonna try to belittle him, call him square, whatever. He ain't with it. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to talk bad about him, but that's cool.
I get my words like that in my school to produce the words that they dream about. It's another way of checking out these sissies who may try to extend my principality, but of course not having madness. From beginning, I'm the end.
Observe me.
Ignorance is not a trend. So as I beckon,
Ignorance is not a trend.
checking out these sissies who may try to extend my principality,
But of course I'm not having no madness. From the beginning, I'm the end. Observe me. Ignorance is not a trend. So as I beckon, a few seconds, pull the reins and heed the words of the brother. While I beckon for a few seconds, slow down for a minute and listen to what I'm saying. Heed the words of the brother.
the universe, mastering words on the verse. Funk is a foresight church, Egyptian, African.
Now I'm on the black watch.
Check my sundial, synchronize the clock.
Check my sundial. In other words, back in the day, they used a sundial, and I synchronized my clock. I check my sundial, and I set my clock.
The shadow as the moon reflects the sun. Creator's eyes make a path to brother one.
So basically, talk about how you do it. I could check the shadow as the moon reflects the sun, or the sun, you know what I'm saying, whatever, on the sundial. You get it. You understand. If not, Google sundial.
I walk softly and carry a big stick, a bird stick, so you natives feel a lick. Jay brings the fucking spread.
In other words, I almost got caught up in all that, you know what I'm saying? But I know the time, though. That's why he mentioned about the clock and everything. I know what time it is. So now I walk softly, but carry a big stick. You know what I mean? A verb stick, which the metaphor that could be used here, or, you know, to parallel with this is like they say the pen is more mighty than the sword. You get what I'm saying? In this case, he's saying my microphone is more mightier than the acts that y'all are doing. You know what I'm saying? I could just tell you what's right with the microphone over a dope beat and let you know what it
I walk
is.
softly and carry a big stick, a
Bird stick. Same bird stick.
Jay brings the fucking spreads jam to the wheat bread.
And the funk of this one, bang glorious.
Unearthly resistance, strong with persistence. Grand verbalized justice, tribal connection, pyramid as jam to the wheat bread. And the funk of this one.
Spread jam to the wheat bread. And then you see a picture of some jelly over a piece of bread. Jam is what we jamming to this song, to the wheat bread. If you don't know what that is, then you just don't know. When he said that, spread jam to the wheat bread, you didn't catch that, then hey.
Softly carry a big stick, a bird stick, so you
You
name
think
it.
it's lit.
Jay brings the fucking spreads jam to the wheat bread. And the funk of this one.
And that's why it's on Flow Improve. Every so often, there'll be a song out that you've heard it 10 times. You hear it 100 times. You hear it 1,000 times. Or maybe even 1,000,000 times. And it's just like a good movie. It's something that you didn't hear in the first 1,000,000 times that you watched the movie. Because I certainly didn't catch what I just heard, what I just caught right here. I'm going to rewind it back and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. We almost done.
On the verse, funk is a foresight church, Egyptian, African.
Now I'm on the black watch. Check my sundial, synchronize the clock.
The shadow as the moon reflects the sun. Creator's eyes make a path to brother one.
Now I walk softly and carry a big stick, a bird stick, so the natives feel a lick.
Jay brings the fucking
The microphone lick, you natives feel the lick. It hit harder than. That's not what I was talking about though. But this boy's spitting.
press jam to the wheat bread. And the funk of this one bang glorious. Unearthly resistance, strong with persistence. Grand verbalized justice, tribal connection. Pyramids witness the funk bearer. Vibe sharer, not the walk softly and carry a big stick, a bird stick. So you natives feel a lick. Jay brings the funk and spreads jam to the wheat bread.
Jay brings the funk that spreads jam to the wheat bread. Funk is the kind of music he rapping over. It spreads the jam to the wheat bread. I brought the funk and then I spread this jam to the wheat bread.
And the book of this one thing glorious, unearthly resistance, strong with
That was a lie.
Grand verbal this tribal connection as jam to the wheat bread. And the book of this one thing glorious, unearthly resistance, strong with persistence. Grand verbal this tribal connection, pyramids, witness the funk bearer, vibe sharer,
Not the era. Brother is balanced like the scales of thought.
And even my demand makes stones seem soft.
All systems.
Positive poison no use. Some call it unearthly resistance, strong with persistence. Grand verbal tribal connection.
Grand Verbal like kicks this, and then he got a picture of himself on it. Whoever did this video was pretty tight.
Pyramids witness the funk bearer. Vibe
The Pyramids witnessed the funk bearer. Then he got a picture of Brother J again. Brother J, hands down, is the most underrated rapper of all time, and you can't tell me nobody else. Definitely the most underrated rapper of all time. And how do you know he's underrated? How do I know he's underrated? And again, how do you know? It's because people my age don't even realize that Brother J is still making music to this day. If you go and Google X Clan or YouTube X Clan, he been making records, I think, still to this day. I think on Spotify, he probably still got albums. Let's see when was the last album he made. I know 5 years ago he had something new. So let's see here. Let's see here. Can I get my keyboard? No, I do not want to transfer to the TV and watch this. X Clan. Most popular releases. 2009 he had an album. Let's see here. What's the newest one? 1992, 2019. They on something. 2008, Katie's Birthday, Nation of Rap featured on us right there. All right, so not that for Access Public Enemy, they're still making music. Same vibe, same type of rappers. Got something to say to to the same people. Although everybody loved Public Enemy. You know what I mean? How do they feel about X Clan worldwide? I don't know. I know Public Enemy, they go touring all over the world. Particularly in London and all those kind of places. Go figure.
There are not the era. Brother is balanced like the scales of thought. Unearthly resistance, strong with persistence.
Grand Verbalizer kicks this.
Connection, pyramid.
That's what it was. Grand Verbalizer is Brother J. He calls himself the Grand Verbalizer. Kicks this tribal connection, bringing people together. These tribal connection, and he said that the pyramids are witnessing this. You know what I mean?
Witness the funk bearer, vibe sharer, not the era. Brother is balanced like the scales of thought.
And I'm sharing a vibe, and it's not an error. Vibe sharing, not the error. Broken language, spitting, and it just makes sense when you put it all together.
Walk softly, carry a big stick,
a bird stick, so you native still a lip.
Express jam
To the wheat bread, and the folk of this one bang glorious.
Unearthly resistance,
Strong with persistence. Grand Verbalizer, kiss this front row connection.
Pyramids witness
The funk bearer, vibe share, not the error. The brother is balanced like the scales of thought.
And even my demand
So
makes
the tone seems soft.
all systems positive poison.
An evil-minded man.
And even my demand makes stones seem soft. Pyramids witness the funk bearer, vibe sharer, not the era. Brother is balanced like the scales of thought. And even my demand makes stones seem soft. All systems positive poison.
Did he say an evil-minded man? I need to know what he said right here before I say what I was going to say. Is it evil-minded? I know what feeble means, but it doesn't. Neeble. Is that a word? Neeble is a male worm. In Black series, like the worms or other, he is addicted to coffee and semi-perverted. A evil-minded man makes stone seem soft and corrupts all systems, is what he said. Whatever that word is, maybe a feeble-minded man makes stone seem soft and corrupts all systems, is what he's saying, though. Whoever it is, it makes the stone seem soft. It breaks through. He breaks through with corruption and everything, and it corrupts all systems.
It's balanced like the scales of thought. And even my demand makes stones seem soft. All systems positive poison. Some call it it's a key.
It's a positive poisoning. That's what he's saying. Poisoning the positive. Some call it it's a key.
Black is a color while blackness state of a mind state. But how many of you think?
He's still talking about the gestures and everything. Black is a color, while black is a state of a mind state. But how many of them fake? The same gestures, how many of them fake?
Brother J can find a better way, so be it. Plan it down and make it straight, I serve a purpose. Black is a color while blackness state of a mind state. But how many of you fake?
Yes, sir.
Brother J
You see that? Did you see that? Let me go back a little bit more. Bob Sharer, not the error. Brother is balanced like the scales of thought. The scales. Closing thought. Corrupts all systems. Is the case. Blackness state of a mind state. Look at the justice. They're going to fork in the road. Playing it down and make it straight for the purpose. Yet I'm not the G.I. Joe, I'm the brother. Cause I drop the signs that break the cloth barriers. Words of O. In other words, the wisdom I drop makes me more than a beginner. The mic and stage areas. I drop the science that breaks the cloth barrier. Words of all make me more than a beginner. The key opens knowledge and places in the tenor. American a man, African a brother, but don't forget the birth because the birth is from the mother. I messed it up. I told you it's been a minute since I heard it. This one band glorious. Here we go. Grand Fertilizer kicks this. Bob Share, but not the error. Brother is balanced like the scales of thought. Make the stone seem soft. Corrupts all systems. Some call it art, but it's a key. Black is a color while blackness state of the mind state. But how many of them fake? Today a brother Jay can find a better way, so be it. Play it down and make it stay. I serve the purpose. I'm not the G.I. Joe, I'm the brother. The mic and stage areas. I got the science that breaks the cloth barrier. Words of all make me more than a beginner. The key opens knowledge and places in the tenor. American a man, African a brother, but don't forget the land, cause the birth is from the motherland. I'm tamed and discovered. Tune in your audio. And he's the word to the brother. A Bible is in place. Woo! If you didn't catch it, yo, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, y'all step up. All the philosophers, the white philosophers, basically what he's saying. Hey, it ain't me, it's what the song is saying. Step up. And the brother's making them go. So there you have it. There you go. To the East Blackwards is the name of the album. If you, hey, you know what? If you are 50 years old or more, and I'm giving you that threshold 50, it's really around age 47, 45. If your kids haven't heard this song before, specifically your young sons haven't heard this song before, haven't heard the album, the next time y'all on a long ride, just pop it in and let them hear. They should drive Uber. I let some young brothers hear, and they was like, what? And they got it and they kept it, because there's a lot of positivity out there, believe it or not. The world will have you think that it's not that way, have them thinking it ain't that way. We did enough of the trill, the drill, the trap and all that. I'm not knocking those rappers. I mean, I am, but I'm not, because there's some good music out there even in those genres. You know what I mean? But, you know, we were raised 45 and up to know right from wrong, you know what I mean? And we had different messages in the music, you see what I'm saying? But eventually around 93, 94, 95, they just start pushing just the gangster agenda, and the music like this start falling by the wayside, which is why I went back to the young lady. It's good to hear rap like that, and it's unfortunate it's probably not going to be on the radio. You're probably not going to hear it on the radio, but she definitely has something to say, as did Brother Jay. You know what I mean? So the album again, X-Clan, To the East Blackwards. Make sure your kids listen to that. And again, if you're my age, you probably ain't heard for a minute, you know what I mean? Go back and listen to that album again, you know what I mean? So look, it's another episode of Flow Improve. Continue to listen in. I appreciate that. But I definitely need some likes and some, you know what I mean, some comments and subscribers. That's what helps with the algorithm and everything, you know what I mean? Help the message to get out, you know what I'm saying? And help people to discover some more music, some more flows that have been proven. So until then, take care, and as always, God bless.